Howdy, and welcome to History Happening. You are history. You are witnessing history. How else could it be? I just stumbled across this one and let's make a quick read through. Recurring summer and winter droughts led to demise of Bronze Age and Indus civilization. April 27th, 2023 by New Stuff. A new research. Scientists from the University of Cambridge and elsewhere reconstructed changes in summer and winter rainfall from trace elements and oxygen, carbon, and calcium isotopes of a stalagmite from Dharamali cave in the Himalaya, spanning 4,200 to 3,100 years ago. They found evidence for a 230-year period of increased summer and winter drought frequency between 4,200 and 3,970 years ago, with a multi-decadal aridity events centered on 4,190, 4,110, and 4,020 years ago. The record highlights the deficits in winter and summer rainfall during the urban phase of the Indus civilization, which prompted adaptation through flexible, self-reliant, and drought-resistant agricultural strategies. Do you think they had pickup trucks 4,000 years ago? Do you think they were mining coal and burning it like they do it today 4,000 years ago? Do you think they cared about cow farts 4,200 years ago? Do you think they were paying CO2 taxes 4,000 years ago? Anyway, I won't add more to that now. Let's have just a read through. We discover explicit confirmation that this duration was not a brief emergency but a gradual alternation of the environmental circumstances in which the Indus population resided, said Professor Carmen Petrie, an archaeologist at the University of Cambridge. In their research, Professor Petrie and colleagues mapped out past precipitation patterns by scrutinizing growth data and stalagmite procured from Dharamali cave adjacent to Pithugrahara, India. Sorry for butchering these. By gauging various environmental markers such as oxygen, carbon, and calcium isotopes, they acquired a representation demonstrating the corresponding rainfall during specific seasons. Furthermore, they employed uranium series dating techniques of great accuracy to determine the timing and length of the arid periods, dry periods. Numerous indications enable us to assemble the characteristics of these dry spells from different perspectives and verify that they align, said Dr. Elena Guiche also from the University of Cambridge. The study authors distinguished discrete intervals of substandard precipitation in both the summer and winter season. The proof of drought affecting both planting seasons is exceedingly meaningful for comprehending the influence of this epoch of climatic transformation on human societies. Yes, I don't think they had pickup trucks back then. But still, the climate changed. The dry spells during this duration extended for long durations, to the extent that the third one would have lasted for multiple generations. Remember the hunger stones which emerged last summer when you see me weep? They were much younger. And still the climate changed, as it does again. No matter how much tax you pay, or to whom you pay it. The outcomes reinforced the current proof that the deterioration of the Indus metropolises was connected to shifts in climate. Yeah. No Bethlehems anymore. Bethlehem, the house of bread. In other words, grains, or simply put, food. However, what remained puzzling up until this point was knowledge of the duration of the droughts and the specific seasons during which they occurred, Dr. Guichet said. That additional information is genuinely vital when we reflect on cultural recollection and how people adjust to environmental changes. The archaeological proof reveals that throughout a 2-century period, the early occupants adopted several measures to adjust and sustain their lifestyle amid this fresh reality. Professor Petrie said, yeah. Don't you somehow think that the last, let's say, 3 years or something, some kind of an adaptation was forced onto the society of our planet? Training program. In the course of this transformation, more sizable urban regions were deserted in preference for less populous rural establishments located towards the eastern frontier of the territory inhabited by Indus communities. Concurrently, cultivation was modified to depend more on summer crops, especially drought-resistant millets, and the populace shifted to a lifestyle that appeared to be more autonomous. Mega droughts have recently been widely cited to account for various cultural changes. Cultural changes. Every cultural change in history was slightly different than the previous one. Some are very much linked to the technological applications involved in the whole process. Anyway, megadroughts have recently been widely cited to account for changes, including those in the Indus Valley, said Dr. David Hoddle, also from the University of Cambridge. However, the connections are typically vague due to the challenges of comparing climatic and archaeological data. This situation is now changing because paleoclimate records are becoming increasingly advanced in pinpointing alterations and precipitation on a seasonal and yearly basis, which have a direct impact on people's choices. A paper on the findings was published in the journal Communications, Earth and Environment. Here's the paper. Yeah. And somehow I thought we could end this little video with a picture. It's actually moving. Check it out. We are watching SO². The red one, the red stuff. Let's measure it here where it's darker. 93. Very many. There might be more, and there might be more coming. This will affect the weather. And therefore will affect food production, not only in the region, what we are looking at the moment. There's another one coming, obviously. Let's check it out where it's originating from approximately. Why doesn't it move? Oh man. Kamchatka. Check it out. Let's change to another color. Kamchatka. Still ongoing. Wait a second. Yeah, we cannot go Yeah, from Kamchatka. For a moment, I thought it might be from here, so we would have had to look the location up, but fortunately, it seems to come from Kamchatka, and now it reaches Europe. I think this one, which is already here, came from this side, and now there's another one coming from this side. Now let's see what they do. This will affect the food production. There might be this kind of a year without a summer or something. Last year, it was really dry and every day sunny. That was annoying. And maybe because Earth's magnetic field is weakening and surface conductivity anomalies and things like that might have a bigger and bigger influence on the overall local weather. I mean, a high pressure and low pressure system, they could be locked in place for much longer times than they used to, because the imprints on and in Earth's crust. Because, for example, where I live, I figured out that I'm at a place of the Scandinavian surface conductivity anomaly where the positive and negative, they basically are touching each other. It's a polarity interface. And last August there has been this surprise geomagnetic event. There has been a crack in Earth's magnetosphere. And how interestingly, we saw auroras here, and they seemed to be quite much aligned with the polarity interface of the surface conductivity anomaly. And it was very interesting. We cannot zoom more out than this, but I just want to point out that how big the area on the northern hemisphere is covered with SO2. America doesn't seem to be too much, at least to this forecast. There's obviously some fresh air coming from somewhere, from the north or something. Yeah, the US is going to be a little bit spared from that. Their northern parts, Canada, there might be. Doesn't look too bad if you just look at the SO2. Well, the Mississippi River's flooding, there's like tornadoes and gorilla hail and all kinds of other things going on there. While in the meanwhile, Scandinavia seems to be covered with SO2. So let's read quickly about this because it is very interesting. Sulfur dioxide recommended spelling UPAC or sulfur dioxide is a chemical compound with the formula SO2. It's a toxic gas responsible for the odor of burned matches. It's released naturally by volcanic activity and is produced as a byproduct of copper extraction and the burning of sulfur-bearing fossil fuels. This is this very interesting rock I have been microwaving. And obviously you can see that there is sparkling going on and it smelled horrible. And I already thought from the smell that it might be sulfur. And there is this, I don't know where is it, Indonesia, somewhere there's this volcano with this blue lava. When it's dark, it's blue. And it's because of the sulfur. Somehow there has to be so much research to be done about this experiment I did. Microwaving a rock, and you can see there's flame. It really sucks that there's this net in front of it. Check this out. Yes, let's leave it with this here. Sulfur. I think this blue stuff which is burning is sulfur. And I found this rock somewhere here. Now the microwave broke down, so I have to wait until I can fix it. Or I find a new one. I don't know if there's any sulfur anymore coming out of that rock, because I microwaved it quite a bit. Yeah. We started off with some climate change from the past. And we ended up with sulfur dioxide. Yeah, and I don't think I'm not responsible for the sulfur dioxide emissions here in Scandinavia with this little experiment. But anyway, thanks. Bye.